Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Everybody's okay? All right. Before we begin, how many attended last night event? The tour and the dinner. Wasn't that great? Right? Yeah? Good? Well, thank you, Incube. Should do that every week. Promise. Okay, so the topic today is the connected freight, but we need to talk about the connected first. Let me introduce myself. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is MagedGirgis. I'm a technical service team leader for Honeywell Meta. And for those who know me, I'm so sorry you're going to have to go through this. All right, so for the next, I have an hour and a half. We're going to talk about the connected freight, or the main objective is connected freight. But to get to that point, connected freight, by the way, we can talk about it in like 5 minutes. But the concept, we can spend 3 hours on. So we're going to cancel lunch, dinner, and you might not be home for the weekend. So let's begin. All right. What is connected? And this is our vision, Honeywell vision, the connected word. This is how Honeywell sees the word. If you're familiar with the company Honeywell, it goes back and it's almost in everything. So if we talk about a connected airline, for example, connected aircraft, you probably had the pleasure of flying Emirates one time or another. If not, you are able to browse the internet and make phone calls 35,000 feet in the air, flying at 900 kilometers an hour. Now, it might to us sound easy, simple, something that we take for granted, but if you know about the technology that goes behind it, from the antenna and how it points to the satellite and how it takes this power, put it in an antenna on the aircraft and broadcast it to the passenger, it's a really complex system. It needs lots of things connected together. We take that concept in every other things that we do in daily basis. Oh, that's nice. That's beautiful. Can we wait till it's finished the song? Anyway, so what we're going to focus on, that's what we're going to talk about today, is mainly the connected, something in the connected supply chain. But this is how we see everything, from the connected aircraft and connected the building, connected home, and connected warehouse, distribution center. So something I just want to mention very quickly. If you get a chance to see our head office in the US, it's one of the greenest buildings. And we're doing that by lots of things connected together. So for example, a room will detect how many people, and it will adjust the lighting and temperature accordingly. So that's kind of, how we utilize sensors and things to make things better. So, I want to go back a little bit. This is actually the most important slide in the whole presentation, because this basically set the foundation. Years and years ago, we used to be in an environment called AIDC, Automatic Identification and Data Capture. What that means is, how do I collect data for the enterprise? What will the enterprise need that data for? The most important thing, of course, for the data to be accurate and fast and in real time. This is how I can make a decision. So we lived in that very first box, collect. And we talked about many technologies. And we did lots of statistics. If some typist on a keyboard, they're gonna make an error every single keystroke, or every 75 keystroke. So less than 100 keystrokes, you're gonna make an error somehow. An 8 becomes a 0 becomes an O, and so forth. So how do we fix that? Utilize technology like a barcode, for example. It's very fast, very accurate. I use something like a check digit to make sure that my data is correct. And by utilizing the barcode, I get accurate data. And I can use something else, like, for example, radio frequency identification. I can use RFID to collect that data. And I can use other technology to make sure that my data is accurate and on time. Okay, now I have data. What do I do with that data? All right, so now we're jumping to the next box. Okay, so I need to connect it to something. What connected means? Well, I need this data, and now I need to take it somewhere. And that somewhere usually my either network, my backbone, my ERP system, my host computer. So I need to utilize a different type of technology. Now I'm talking either Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, maybe, or 3G, 4G, 5G, whatever G it is, to make sure that my data goes to my backbone. All right, now I have the data. I collected the data. I know it's accurate. And I send it. What do I do with it? Now we'll jump to the next one. Do I need some sort of intelligence? Do I need some sort of data analytics that I can make a proper decision based on that data? So now we are not talking about data and accuracy. Now we're talking about the whole, from my data all the way to making a proper decision or deciding on something accordingly. Now, the next map, this is not an eye chart and there will be no test, but if you look at this, this is how we see a normal environment, from a connected hospital to a connected home, a smart, whatever it is. Now, if you visit a house was built in 1800, chances are it will have one of those mechanical thermostat made by Honeywell. It's something that will adjust. Basically, what does the thermostat do? It will adjust the temperature according to your liking. You say, I want it 20 degrees, 22 degrees. And it will just measure the temperature, and it will turn either the air condition or the furnace on and off, depends on the temperature. Very simple. A thermostat can do that. Great. If you look at our thermostat now, it's still round and it still controls the temperature, which is, common sense. A thermostat that controls the temperature, this is what's supposed to do. But now think about it this way. Now we're talking about data and collecting the data and making the proper decision. If I tell you, maybe, that your thermostat can detect your liking, can adjust, your habits to you, maybe today you want it high or low, you might think that I'm smoking something or this is not out of this world, but it is true and it does happen. How? Making sense of the data and connecting things together. So think about it this way, and this one actually does exist. A thermostat controls the temperature, but chances are you will have, or you might have, somehow an access to the outside, to the ISP, the internet service provider. Most probably your home will have an access point and you have a Wi-Fi. Great. And can almost guarantee you that every one of us carries a smart device. I have 2 of them in my pocket now. So this smart device knows how to talk to the network. It knows where you are. It does have a GPS, correct? And it knows how to get to your network, to your own network. So what if I connect everything together and build some sort of a smart software to make decision according to what I like? For example, what if that thermostat can talk to my Wi-Fi access point, and the Wi-Fi talks to the weather network, so it knows my location, it knows the temperature outside, and because it's a thermostat, it also knows the temperature inside, and because it can talk to my smart device, it actually knows where I am. I'm within proximity or not. So I can design a geofence, as what we call it. If I'm within, let's say, for example, 2 or 3 kilometers of the house, please turn the air conditioner on. By the time I get home, it's not 40 degrees, it's 20 degrees. Can that be done? It is an actual product that, everybody can go and buy and do today. How did that happen? How did we manage to do that? How do we make something so out of this world, so realistic? It's by simply connecting devices together, making sense of that data that they collect, and then making a decision. Where am I from my neighborhood? If I'm close by, if I'm driving with my mobile phone and my GPS, here are the coordinates. Now turn the AC on, and by the time I get home, it's ready. Okay, so that's kind of the connected message, the message that we're trying to say. Now, think about it this way. This is, you can take that and apply it in everything. So, a few months ago, we basically partnered with another division, the Honeywell Industrial Safety. So things like, for example, the safety and productivity, if you put them together, and now you're talking about the connected, what if things that connect to each other can actually make a proper decision, or can help me make a decision? For example, a worker. If I'm in a very harsh environment, or an environment that requires some sort of safety boot, safety hat, do I let them just decide what to wear, or can I make sense of what they're wearing? Can I make sense of some sort of a software that will make sure that this worker is actually utilizing or using what's supposed to? So for example, what if I embed some sort of a chip inside the hat, or a barcode, for that matter, it doesn't matter, or the safety boots. So this worker most probably will have a smart device, a rugged computer, hopefully. And can they, for example, collect data, and according to certain logic in my backbone says, if this worker will go hanging in the ceiling somewhere from like 30 meters, he should have a strap, for example, a hoist, will have to have a hard hat, or we have to have this. Now, once I collect that data, now I give him a green light, go ahead. So now this is the whole idea of not only we look at the productivity or the hardware that help collect data, no, actually, can I make sense of that data that I also connect. Now, I like to walk around with toys. So I have this, I want to show you something. So for example, this is just a very simple example. It might look like a standard headset, right? It's just a microphone, which it is. But this is our VoCollect device, and you can see here, I can take it apart, right? So this guy here, this one belongs to a worker. This belongs to me for hygienic reason. I mean, you know, this is mine. Now this one is where the brain is, so I can pick this from anywhere, and I just plug it in, and I say, for example, you know, my name is Billy Bob, and here is my user ID. Now download my profile. But what if I use a smart technology, because this is, I can pick from anywhere, but this is mine. If I get them together, like utilizing something like NFC, near field communication, why don't I automatically download the profile? So what I'm saying here is, I'm utilizing a technology to eliminate a step that might have some sort of errors, right? It's just as simple as that. So this is kind of, you know, a worker who are utilizing NFC to make sure that my headset talk to my mic, and my mic talk to my Bluetooth, and my Bluetooth talk to my Wi-Fi that goes to the network and bring my profile down without me doing anything. Something also similar. For example, we have a handheld, and handheld usually, like if, for example, if I'm a field worker, I need to print a receipt or an invoice, or Mr. Customer, please sign here. Here is a printer. So I use a mobile computer, and I also use mobile printer. How do they talk to each other? Most probably Bluetooth. So we all use Bluetooth, correct? And you know how, I don't want to say difficult, but it's a hassle. Your pen and your not pen, and here's the MAC address, I want to talk to this device. So why don't, Bluetooth is what we call a PAN, Personal Area Network. It does have a 10-meter radius. So what if I use a different type of technology that's also a PAN, but it's very close proximity, like NFC. So what if I put an NFC on my mobile computer and an NFC on my printer, and instead of those all typing and all security and things, I just put them together, and now I'm, you know, assigning this printer to this mobile computer. This is what we're doing now, moving forward, that nobody needs to go and say, I want this printer, and enter the MAC address of the printer. You just put them together, and now they are talking by utilizing the connected method. All right, so far makes sense? Good? All right. That brings us to the most important topic, or the topic of today, the connected freight. Now, here is what I want you to imagine. We all ship boxes, and most probably we like the boxes we ship, so we want to know what's going on with them. I don't know. I mean, you might, for example, I don't know. Let's give you an example, something live. Like if I have a friend of mine who lives in the Maritime, and I feel like lobster, I'll give him a call. Could you please send me a live lobster? I'm here in Jordan, and I cannot find it. So send me one, please. He'd say, okay, fine. Let me get this, live animal, put him in a box, put him in Federal Express. What if this lobster can talk to me all the way from the Maritime all the way to Jordan? Wouldn't that be nice? I'm too cold, I'm too hot. Why is it shaking? Why is it so humid here? What's all this light? What's all this temperature? So during the journey, I can detect what's going on, right? Will that make sense? Will that make Now we can think about it, not just this poor animal, but if I'm sending, for example, pharmaceutical or drugs, some of those drugs are quite expensive, and they cannot be exposed to a certain temperature, they cannot be exposed to certain lighting condition. So I have to make sure that they are traveling through the proper environment. How do I do that? By utilizing the connected strategy. So what connected is set of sensors inside a tag, like a smart tag. And this tag has a battery, and the sensors senses the environment, shock, if it dropped, humidity, temperature, light, and it keeps talking, we're collecting that data, and now this is what we call a very low power sensors. So it needs some sort of a smart device, so it doesn't have a GPS, for example, it doesn't have Wi-Fi, it doesn't have 3G, so it needs to talk to a gateway, and the gateway will talk to my network, my VLAN, or my virtual private network, VPN, and it brings me that data. So during the entire journey, I'm collecting data, sending it to my network, and bringing it so I can make a proper decision. Did anything go wrong with my device? So this is the concept. It's collaboration between Honeywell and Intel, and the idea is at any given time you have total visibility of your shipment. Now, the name, well, it's new. You know, we came with it not that long ago, but we give it a name, ConnectedFreight. But surprisingly enough, this was one of the, you know, sometimes you come up with a product or an idea and it has this major wow factor. You say, wow, can you really do that? So this is one of them. Every time we go and talk about it, everybody will say, wow, can you really do that? And then they find different use case, different opportunities. It doesn't even have to be a freight. For example, I'll give you an example. One of the power generation here in North Africa, they have those big, like a power generator kind of thing that uses oil. It has lots of oil, and it cannot be tilted. If it gets tilted, it will destroy everything. So what if I put a tag that detects the angle, and if it tilts behind a certain level, will give an error or send me a message? Wouldn't that help? So it doesn't even have to be just for shipment and freight. It can be for many other things. Possibilities are endless almost. Most important thing is connected sensors together and bring me that data so I can take up or make a proper decision. So this is kind of how it looks like. Now, let's talk about the components. So basically, if you have a pallet or you're shipping a pallet, you attach it. Oh, actually, I want to show you. I carry lots of stuff with me. So this is how the gateway would look like. As you can see, it's quite rugged, sealed, so it will survive humidity, rain, dust, whatever. And it does have a power supply, of course, and a SIM card, so it can talk to a 3G provider. And it talks to, well, it does have an address, so you can take a picture of that barcode. It talks to what we call a tag. So this is what a tag looks like. Now, by the way, we do have a demo running. So after this, you're going to see it. I don't want to steal their thunder. I just want to show you how it looks like. But this is how a tag would look like. So you attach this to the box, like you can see there. And it uses, okay, so now let's go back a little bit. We're talking about the technology and how to utilize the technology. So you know what a PAN is, Personal Area Network. It consists of a couple of things, couple of wireless technology that uses PAN. One of them is called Zigbee. And Zigbee is based on IEEE 802.5.4, something like that. So it's a standard, common standard by the IEEE. And it mentioned how machines or machines talk to each other, how they communicate at a very low power, very low data speed to each other. It basically was designed, 1999 or something, for machines to talk to each other and communicate. So what happened here is we use the Zigbee. So now you have many tags creating a mesh technology. They talk to each other, they hop the data, and then they reach this guy. Once they reach this guy, this one has GPS, has Wi-Fi, it has 3G. So now I'm listening to all my Zigbee tags. How are you? How are you doing? What's the temperature? What's the heat? How is everything? How is your life? How the journey has been? and taking this data here and sending it to my cloud so I can make sense of that data that I'm collecting. That's a very, very simple way of putting what is connected freight is. All right? Any questions so far? No? So good? All right. Yes, question.
The box you have, does it have any kind of intelligence, like escalation process, instead of sending thousands of reading to the cloud? I can trigger it that when the temperature, for example, is above 26, start sending. Below that, don't send anything. Can that be done, or it has?
Yes, yes. This is an intelligent device. And through the software or the configuration, you can figure, okay, that's a good point. Because this one, as you can see, it does have a battery, and the battery has a life. So you can say, for example, every second, send me that data, if it's very important. If it's not that important, every hour. It depends, of course, that will reflect or affect the battery life. So it does have an intelligence, say, every 5 minutes, collect that data. I want to know the temperature. I don't care about the tilt. I don't want to care about the drop. But that data, this is what's important to me. And once you collect it, you can either set your email address or phone number, and it will send you an email if you want a machine talking to you. Yes. Does that answer your question? It's intelligent enough to know what to send and when, but it needs a backbone to make the decision what to do with that data. Right? Good? Okay. Actually, you know what? Okay, so I have a small video that will show you what it is, but instead, I'll tell you what I did. I mean, that was a couple of weeks ago. I took this poor little guy, and I set it up in our office, and let's see if I abuse this thing, what will happen. I put it in the freezer, drove it around, I say, here it is from this point to that point, and let's see. I want to show you. Actually, this is a live one. Let's go to the. Where is it? Mouse. No? There. So I remember the password. Not sure why the mouse is not working. Oh, yeah, this guy here. Yeah, so this. Duplicate. That's better. All right, you can see it now? Okay, so this is our cloud-based portal. I create my username and password, and I can go to the portal. And as you can see here, we got lots of packages. Those are my colleagues who are working on ConnectedFreight. And if I go down here, see my name somewhere, you can see lots of people are active. That's live, by the way. No. Yeah, no. This one is still active. I want to go to the completed one because that was a couple of weeks ago, and I said, okay, I reached my destination. Still there? Still loading? Yeah. Those are, my colleagues are, somebody's using my profile. So there we go. Yeah, there we go. This is the one. All right. So as you can see, right there. Yeah, okay, good. So this is the one. I was supposed to ship it from our business office to the mall or to the gate. And you can see here, this is in Dubai. It will show you right there. All the shipment info, what happened to it, and what went wrong. And anyway, so there we go. So this is what it will give you. It can give you in some sort of a graphic way, or it can send you that data to your application. What's happening, like you can see here, the temperature and how it vary in temperature from the time I put it in the freezer all the way to the way I was driving with it, and the humidity, right, from the freezer all the way, how it detected and it will give you the graph, and the tilt, so it was quite nice and even, and even the light, the ambient light, what kind of light it faces. So if you have something that should not be exposed to light, you can also detect that. It does have a light sensor, and it will sense the ambient light as well. And of course, the battery and the battery information. So that gives you an idea about what you can do with this thing. You just set the sensors and say, this is my threshold. If it goes above 50 degrees, for example, send me an alert. If it goes below 0 degree, send me an alert. Now, point here is, imagine with those sensors what you can do with that. If it doesn't even have to be you shipping something. If something that important to you, right? Will that information make sense? Will that information help you protect it, for example, right? We're talking to another entity that they have extremely, extremely expensive items, and those items are in the street. So will this work for anti-theft? Yeah, sure. Because if you detect the tilt and somebody's trying to lift it or something, it can send you a message. Oh, something happened, something went wrong, right? So that and then you can decide what to do with that data. So that gives you an idea about what you can do with this thing. So let's go back to the presentation. Oh, by the way, we're going to have a live demo in the room there. So please, after this, before lunch, go there and spend some time there. It's going to be quite interesting. So this is the components and how it looks like, the gateway and the gateway to the tag, and then to the internet access to the cloud, and that gives you all that kind of flow of data and how to make sense of that data. All right, now, cartoon. This is basically what it is, how you connect, how you can make a shipment, shipment. You connect your you connect your device to the internet, and it goes to the portal. Then you take the tag right here. As you can see, the gateway has an address. This guy has another address, a MAC address. So basically, this is how machines talk to each other. You say this one is talking to this one, and this one will talk to my cloud. This one will be attached to my asset, and I set the sensors. So now this guy is talking to this guy. It can do it directly, or because it's a Zigbee, it can go through another one. It creates the mesh, right? So you saw the picture before, even a big container, I can put one at the end and this one at the other end, and they start talking to each other, keeping themselves company, I guess, and then to reach this guy, and this guy knows how to come to my network, how to send me that data. That's the most important thing. So this is what this picture is, and now I can track it anywhere in the world, right? Okay, so now the video. See about the okay. Volume is not that good.
Colleagues at the factory aren't happy. Now they're facing delays and downtime. His boss isn't happy either, because he may have to spend money on air shipping crates back to their facility. So how did the damage happen, and how can it be prevented next time? Joe and his team really can only guess where and when it went wrong. Next time, Joe can use ConnectedFreight from Honeywell. It's a completely connected and intelligent monitoring system that fills the gaps in the information he needs to know. With ConnectedFreight, the workers can eliminate 4 low-tech passive damage monitors by simply attaching one small economical sensor tag. The tag monitors factors like location, shock and tilt, light, humidity, temperature, theft tampering, and more. The sensor data is continuously collected by a mobile gateway, which transmits it securely via the cloud to Joe's customizable command control dashboard. ConnectedFreight provides predictive alarms about imminent problems, so Joe can ensure that action takes place immediately, minimizing downtime, reducing losses, and keeping his factory partners satisfied. Plus, Joe's warehouse colleagues are asking him if the technology can help them locate the crate quickly and help them in cycle counts. Now, Joe is interested in using analytics to better understand what is further driving waste in his supply chain. Honeywell can help.
Makes sense? Any questions so far before we move? Yes.
Lifetime of the battery.
It depends. Oh, here we go. It depends on how we set it up. So it does have 5 sensors. It depends if you want to use all of them or not, or one, and it depends on how frequent you're sending that, because it sends beacons. So just to give you a rough idea, because I was talking to the engineers who designed this thing, if you want to enable everything and you want to send it every like 2 or 3 seconds, it's probably going to last you less than a week. If you want one sensor and every day, can go up to 2 years. So we had an opportunity in one of the African countries actually, and their issue is, again, got absolutely nothing to do with freight. So maybe the name freight is not that good for this product. They are faced with theft, and they are a telecom provider, so they have towers, and in a rural area like no man's land. But it's very important for people who are driving on the highway. So what happened is, you know how the tower is, and they have very expensive equipment. Some people, they go and they steal those things. So what they wanted to do is basically simply put a tag on the asset, whatever the tower is, the antennas, whatever it is, talking to a gateway, and that gateway will send that data. And they said, fine, but we don't need it every minute, every 2 minutes. If every single day is, we're fine with that. We don't care if they steal it, but we want to make sure it's active. If something goes wrong, I want. So one sensor, once a day, and it's about 2 years. So every 2 years, they will have to maintain it and replace it. But of course, they want to do it more frequent, it's probably going to last a lot less than that. So it all depends.
Any platform where it can manage the battery level?
Yes, it depends on how you set it up. Yes. Sorry?
Just to check the battery level.
Oh, I see. Not in our portal, but we give you, like, if, for example, if you want to embed this in your own software, we'll give you APIs. And the API is basically you talk to it, and it talks to our cloud. So it's still the same principle, cloud also based. So you still have to have access to the internet. You have to have a username and password. But the API, you can embed that information into your data, and it depends on how you send and you get back to get that information. You know? Oh, okay. Good question. Yes. Sorry. Your name.
2 questions.
2 questions.
The first question, can I direct it to my own cloud, or should I direct it to your Honeywell cloud?
That's a very good question. So far, I think it's our cloud, but I need to double check.
This is one. The other thing, can I have usually in enterprises, monitoring tools are on a system which is monitoring so many things.
Yes.
So adding such a new task or monitoring part, can I interface your system with whatever tools, PCI, whatever, to some of the international standard monitoring software that monitors many things in an environment?
Yes.
I can add this.
Yes. But you're not going to use the portal that I showed you. You're going to use the APIs, and then you create the software that will link our data coming to you to that enterprise software, whatever that software is. So that linking, it will be your responsibility. But we'll give you the API that you can talk to our system and say, give me that data. Right? Oh, okay. All right. Good. Glad to hear that. Lots of interest. Questions?
Sorry, the max range between.
Okay. So it's based on. We have 2 tags. One is based on Zigbee. One is based on Bluetooth. The Zigbee one, it goes between 10 meter to 100 meter. It depends on how you set up the mesh. So each one can talk to about 10 meter. But if you create mesh of those guys, it can go up to 100. That's mesh or Zigbee. Bluetooth is the Bluetooth standard 30 feet or 10 meter radius. Cool? All right. Yes?
How applicable is this in fast-moving goods, like FMCG type of goods or supply chains?
In the supply chain, yeah. So it was basically designed for that. It was designed for, let's say, for example, ice cream. You have to be at a certain level of temperature. Otherwise, don't risk it. You know what I mean? Like if you're shipping ice cream and it knows that the temperature, for some reason, the reefer went bad and the temperature went to 50 degrees, might as well not even use it. So this is the whole idea, is that you attach to this thing, it triggers the temperature, and if something goes wrong, it will send you that information right away.
Okay, and my second question is, how is that different from normal temperature sensors inside the trucks?
Oh, well, I mean, the concept is putting lots of sensors together connect them to a gateway, and yes, there are so many other options. It's not like this is, there are many other options for sensing. But I guess my point is, look at the whole sense, talk, connect, analyze that data and give you that information. The whole cycle, basically, right? Yes?
This is not brought more than from like a container or an export tools that you have. The drop, you can add sensors and you control that. But if you have a shipment that you
In container, yeah, okay, yes. So we did that test in one of the vessels, leaving a port to another one, and it was a big container, and you put those on a container, and the container will talk to the gateway. The gateway will talk, because apparently the vessel will have Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi will talk to the satellite. So we were talking to the Wi-Fi of the vessel, and the vessel is communicating back and forth, and we're monitoring this. Yes.
Can they speak to Honeywell devices?
Sorry.
Can they speak to Honeywell mobile computers?
Yeah.
Have an Android application or something like that?
Yes. Yes. So I do have. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. So I do have my beloved Honeywell CT60, and let me show you. Okay. All right, so I'm not sure if you can see it from here, but there is an application, and the application is connected to the network. It says Honeywell, and I'm talking to the device, and it shows me what everything is. So I can, yes, I can use this one, but I can also, I didn't say that, if there's marketing, you can also use an Apple phone, for example. And it's an Apple Android application, and you can use a rugged device, or you can use your own phone. Like, for example, the driver of a truck might use this one, but the supervisor might use his own phone, right? Any other questions?
That means it's not only limited to logistics. You can even use those Bluetooth beacons in retail stores.
Sure, yes, exactly. And that's my point. Every time we introduce them, somebody comes with an idea. That's why I'm saying it's not really connected freight, it's connected sensors. Yeah, all right? Okay. We'll move on. Another questions? How much time do I have? Oh, I got lots of time. I'm keeping you hostage. All right, the other connected device, this is something I just want to show you. It's 2 slides, I'm not going to take too much time. But this is what we call the AutoCube. And I want to show you a picture of that thing. I think we have one in the room as well. But this is quite an interesting little gizmo. It does have infrared, laser, and a camera. And what it does, it takes a picture of an item, whatever the item is, and it will, what we call it an AutoCube. It will create a cube or a box around it. So it doesn't matter the shape of the thing. So if something like this is easy to measure, or a box to measure to give you the height and the width and the depth. That's easy. But if something like that what we call an irregular shape, it can be anything, it will give you the dimension of the smallest box that this thing will fit in. Why is this important? Well, if you go to Federal Express, for example, and you tell them, I want to ship this box, and this box is 1 kilogram worth of feather, it will take this room. But 1 kilogram of metal, it's about this big. So they want to charge you on weight, but they also want to charge you on how much space you're taking in their truck. Make sense? If you're shipping air, it's not their fault. So they want to make sure that they measure the box properly and they charge you accordingly. And this is what this guy is. But what's unique about it is for companies like that one, that they work worldwide, they cover many geographic locations. It's a connected strategy as well. So you have the device. I want to show you how it looks like. That guy over there on a stand, and then it will measure the box. Of course, it does have its limitations. 1 meter, well, from 10 centimeters, 10 by 10 by 10 centimeters to 1 meter, 1 by 1 by 1. And it will give you that information right there, length, height, and width. As you can see it right there. And now you can connect it to the internet, go back to your cloud, come back with either an invoice, pricing, or Here is Mr. Customer. Here how much we're going to charge you for this. Now, this was developed for the UPS, the Federal Express, the Jordan Post type of companies. However, we found out that many warehouse companies like third-party logistic or distribution center, they said, this is great for us. Can we take it, integrate it into our software, and now we utilize our warehouse? Small boxes down, heavy boxes up, or whatever, this box and this box. How do we take your data, just very simple, H&W, and put it in some sort of a logic, and now I can decide where this box is going to go in my either truck or in my warehouse to utilize my space to its maximum potential. Kind of idea, right? So, okay, very quickly. Didn't take that much of your time. Any question about the AutoCube? Yes. Oh, sorry.
Does it apply to moving boxes?
Oh, that's a very good question. No. Okay, I'll tell you what we did. We did with one of our partners, and they are in conveyor belt business. They put sensors, and the box will come in. It will stop the box for at least a second. It will measure and it will move on. Yes. So it will need to pause a little bit. It cannot be on a very fast item. No.
Some items, even the shipment with advice, since the camera, you cannot scan that one because you check the item inside, if that's broken or not broken.
Yes. I don't know about the logic.
Because sometimes customers,
Yes.
one shipment
Is damaged. Yes. Yes. So it doesn't have the logic to say it's damaged or not, but as you can see right there, see that there, it can capture a picture and you can open a folder and you say, you also save a JPEG of the shipment. So if anything happened, you say, here how I received it. It can save a picture. Now, will it tell you it's damaged or not? No, but it can save a picture. On site? No. Oh God, no. I wish. yeah. I need one of those. X-ray? Oh boy, no, we're getting into no. Yeah. No, it's not. It's unfortunately no. It's not an X-ray machine. No, it will not tell you what's inside the box. No. Sorry. To add to a system like. Yes, the X-ray machine. Great idea. I'm not really sure. I mean, we have to take it. Like, if you have an opportunity, please connect with me. I can send it to our engineers because you go and see it there because it's about this what they call it the Xbox thing there. It's not bigger than that. Can you fit an X-ray machine inside that small box? Yes or no? I don't know. Attach, yes. So if you have an X-ray already, you can take that data from there and link them together, but that will require a whole lot of software integration. But can we fit an X-ray in this guy or not? I need to connect with you and talk to our engineers. Cool? All right. Any other questions? Move on. You're hungry? I am. All right. Last video, and let's put it all together. So we talked about ConnectedFreight, we talked about the guy who's talking on the phone, and we talked about measurement. Let's fit everything together. I think the most important thing about this video, and the reason I have this video, is not what I'm trying to say in this video is not everything. There is no one solution fits all. Sometimes you have to integrate so many things together, right? Like, for example, voice, scanners, handheld, printers, and this one shows how to make sure that your DC distribution center is as optimized as much as possibly can, utilizing technology. That's what this thing is basically is about. Oh.
The warehouse is at the center of your business. And in today's highly competitive markets, there's something even more dependent on efficient warehouse operations: customer satisfaction. And what do your customers want from your DC operations? Accurate, on-time, and flawless fulfillment every time. Honeywell can help. With voice-directed solutions that increase productivity and savings in complex, error-prone workflows. With wearable solutions that help improve transaction times by 6 seconds per transaction. and reduce the need for multiple devices, saving you valuable capital and operational expenses. With industry-leading rugged mobile solutions powered by Android that help you break free from inflexible technologies and short life cycles that can result in lost productivity, unplanned downtime, and extensive training. And with cloud-based solutions that help IT teams proactively prevent device issues before they lead to failures in the field. With Honeywell, you'll have a connected workforce that's faster, more accurate, and more flexible to changing demands, all of which boost performance while reducing costs. That's the power of Honeywell. That's the power of Connected.
Make sense? So I think, yeah, going back to the objective of this video, as you can see in certain location of the warehouse, that lady was using a finger scanner, basically, so hands-free. She needs to use that. But on another location, they wanted a long range, so they're using a gun type of shape or laser type of shape. In another area, they cannot even use anything to do with their hand. They have to have everything, like they need to focus, so they're using the voice. So that's kind of putting it everything together just to make sense how to utilize, how to make your worker a lot more productive. Any questions? Oh, thank you very much for your time. So please enjoy lunch and stop by. Thank you very much. Thanks.